Hello. Different setup than normal. Still, we'll see that through for a bit. This game, honestly, this game from start to finish as a hockey fan was a phenomenal game. It's one of those that the Golden Knights played really well outside of a couple of minutes. And despite the fact that we've had a goalie in net that's had 3 career NHL starts before this, it might have been 4, it went better than expected. In the first period, Paul Cotter was doing some amazing stuff, and he almost gets this one off the toe drag. Vasilevsky makes the save, but then later in the period, he deflects a shot from Brayden McNabb on the point, and it hits Vasilevsky, pops out, open rebound for Jonathan Marchessault-Berry to make it 1-0. And I know I mentioned this earlier in the season, but Brayden McNabb has been getting a lot of these types of assists that he just wasn't getting earlier in his career, and has been having a really good season. And then almost towards the end of the first, Jack Eichel with the forecheck forces this turnover, just keeps possession over to Mark Stone with a perfect sauce over to Ivan Barbashev, who roofs this one, and it's 2-0 Vegas. Barbashev has been on an absolute heater in the last 10 games. Just really, really good. And Jack Eichel extending that point streak. Love to see it. Love to see what happened in the first period. And then the second period happens, which honestly, the second period wasn't even that bad outside of a 3-minute span. Barbelet gets one halfway through for the Lightning. Honestly, that one's on Petro more than it is on Patera. He got kind of caught puck watching, and Barbelet was able to just deflect that one in from in front of the net. And then Petro bats the puck out of the air and it goes into the netting, which is a delay of game, which causes a 2-man advantage for the Lightning, and they're able to get this one on a cross-crease pass over to Kucherov with a lethal one-timer. Patera lost his stick in an earlier shot and wasn't able to really corral that much after that, and so a tough break for him. But at the same time, there's not really much he could have done. And then 30 seconds later, he tries to dive for the puck, which is a good move, but it's not able to get it, and the Lightning players are able to roof it over him to make it 3-2, just like that. And I wish that we were done, but 2.5 minutes later, so with like a minute left to go in the second period, this is the one where I was like, okay, Patera is a rookie goaltender, because there's a shot that goes from the point off the boards. He has no idea where it is, and instead of going back to the net, he's like circling around for it, looking around, taking quite a bit of time to do so. Meanwhile, Brayden Point's able to get the puck and into the back of the net before Patera even knows what's going on. And so that's the only one that I would really put on him, but out of the 5 that the Lightning scored, that's not really that bad, even though we're getting to it. 5 minutes into the third period, Jonathan Marchessault with his second off of a bing bang boom power play goal with the tic-tac-toe setup that was just perfect. And if I'm like a Lightning fan, I'm like, whatever, the power play, whatever. And then halfway through the third, Paul Cotter, who again had been doing phenomenally, already has that assist, is able to find himself wide open in the slot and wires this thing past Vasilevsky because he had a bunch of people in front of him, could not see where this was going, and ties the game 4-4. And this was just so well done from the Vegas Golden Knights. They fought back hard. They were doing all these different things. And then with less than 2 minutes to go, Brayden Point streams in towards the right side. Nick Paul comes up on the left. No one's getting him. I think like we just needed to be better about our back check, but anyway. And Brayden Point wires it. It hits his pad, bounces out. Nick Paul, wide open net, buries it with like 2 minutes. And so it's the Tampa Bay Lightning will win 5-4. We were not able to really get out of our defensive zone to pull Patera a little bit earlier. Who knows how that would have gone, given how 6-on-5s have been going for us so far this season. But just a really sucky game for us to not get a point out of, because we played well. It was a fun game. It was a back and forth, like just good hockey game. One other thing that I wanted to mention, because it's good. Today, so this is the day after the game, Ben Hutton signed a 2-year extension with the Vegas Golden Knights, $925,000 per year. So that's a really, really good deal for basically our 7th D-man. And the thing is he has played really, really well. Something I've noticed last game against the Lightning is how mobile he really is, which has been filling a spot that Theodore had kind of left behind because he was our mobile defenseman, where he forechecks. He finds himself with the puck in deep, and he is able to move with it. And that's been really something that Vegas's defense has kind of missed without Theo, and it's nice to see him kind of step into that role and do pretty a pretty good job with it throughout. And even though it hasn't really ended up with the same offensive production that we're used to Theo getting, it was still really, really cool to see that even if we wanted to, we could probably put him at forward too. But that was game 34. And, you know, and then the Hutton extensions. Our last game for Christmas is tomorrow, which who knows when this video comes up, against the Florida Panthers, which is a noon game, which why do there have to be an East Coast swing with a bunch of early games when I'm on the West Coast? Like, don't get me wrong, the West Coast start time at the beginning of the week was awesome, but like, could that have not happened when I was in Georgia? Tough road trip so far, but let's see if we can close out strong against the team we faced in the Stanley Cup final rematch, you know? But that's going to be it for Game 34's Nightly Review. Thank you so much for watching and have a good night.